My Bride's a Mermaid just sounds really dumb. And the first time I've ever heard of this was a couple years ago when someone I once knew introduced it to me, telling me it was like one of the most funniest shit he ever seen. So of course I had to watch it for the first time, and well, I was not entirely sure what to expect from this, but what I was expecting that it was going to be mind-numbingly stupid. So I had to take in consideration that this is going to be something that I couldn't take too seriously. Well anyways, one random thing that is pretty amusing to note is that did you know that the mangas was actually published by Square Enix? Interesting. So anyways, here goes the story. So it begins with a character named Nagasumi, where him and his family go on summer vacation to visit his grandma. Oh, and just by the way, Nagasumi's parents have like the most original name ever. Yeah, their names are Nagasumi's father and Nagasumi's mother. Yeah, that's just real creative there. So they ended up going to the beach and Nagasumi almost drowns. But he ends up being saved by a mermaid named Sun. And it ever so happens that Sun is the daughter of the leader of the Yakuza gang underwater. I swear, I'm not making this up. And also the leader of the Yakuza happens to be Gozaburo Seto. Now the first thing that came to my mind when I first heard his name was Gozaburo Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh! And yet the thing that's really weird is that Gozaburo, who adopted Kaiba, his name is Seto. Strange, but oh well, it's just really ironic. Well anyways, apparently the rules are if a human discovers a mermaid, the mermaid must be executed. And the only way to prevent this from happening is that the mermaid has to marry off to the person that discovered her. But of course Gozaburo doesn't like this because he's a complete psychopath. And he wants to kill Nagasumi, like, all the time. And yeah, as again, I'm really not making this up. So now Nagasumi and Sun are trying to, like, get together, but when there's, like, a bunch of shit trying to kill them, and things are just not going well. And the one word to sum this up is just complete mayhem. So that's the basic of the story. It's just a guy and a girl trying to get together, but they kind of have to get together or else, you know, one of them's gonna die. Because I know if I'm gonna try and explain every single thing that's gonna go on, I'm just gonna sound like a complete whack job. So yeah, obviously, this is not a kind of show to be taken seriously, because if you were, your head would probably explode. So yeah, that's the really crazy romancy story that you get with this one. So now let's move on to animation. And I think it looks good for what it is. I mean, I have no complaints whatsoever. I mean, for a show like this that's supposed to be like balls out crazy, I mean, it kind of suits it. So in that term, it's actually kind of good. Now, obviously, there's not like a whole hell of a lot of detail, but you know, with something like this, I don't expect that. So I will at least say it's suiting to what it is. And now, as for the voice acting, well, surprisingly, it's pretty good. So first you have Todd Haberkorn and Alexis Tipton, John Swazi and Christopher Sabat, who do a really good job. And everyone else who plays in the show does do a pretty decent job. I mean, as crazy as the show is, everyone else in the show just sounds, well, really crazy, so yeah, I really don't have a lot of complaints with that. Although some of the voices can get annoying pretty quickly. I guess that'll be my only complaint, but as again, that's not really a huge thing, but it is something that can get annoying after a while. Yeah, this is not the kind of show I would do a whole marathon on. But anyways, as for the score, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Yeah, I'm dead fucking serious. Now, to be quite honest with you, when I first saw this for the first time a couple years ago, I actually fucking hated it. I thought this was one of the most stupidest things I've ever seen in my life. And as stupid as it is, it can actually be funny. For an example, the parts of Masa, who happens to be a member of Sato's group, who is played by Christopher Sabat, I have to admit, his character is actually fucking funny. Mainly because everyone thinks he's so attractive and yet everyone gets jealous because he gives Nagasumi mouth to wake up after being saved by the mermaid. And so of course Nagasumi thinks that that's like his first kiss, which is, you know, really fucked up, but you know, as fucked up as it is, it did make me laugh because of how ridiculous it was. And that's just it, the show is just so ridiculous, it's kinda hard to hate on it. Now, I can fully understand not getting into it. I mean, hell, even I wasn't getting into it the first time I watched it. But I wouldn't say this anime is, like, amazing by any means. Hell, I wouldn't even say it's terrible. And I wouldn't even say it's actually even that good. But I'm being a bit generous with my score, mainly because, like I said, there are some things that can be funny within it, and it's just ridiculous as holy hell. And surprisingly, an anime based on romance, it doesn't really have a lot of fan service. Not that I'm completely against the idea, it's just different, I suppose. And that's another reason why I'm giving this a generous score of 6 out of 10, because it's at least trying to be different for what it is. But hey, if you like a lot of ridiculous bullshit, then this is definitely for you. But as for me, I think it's just okay, even though at least it never went dull. Or maybe I'm just appreciating this one a bit more considering that I had to watch the dreadful MapleStory anime so soon. But I'd rather not talk about that one anymore. Yeah, so if you want to watch something that's so fucked up and stupid and funny, then this is the way to go.